Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Sunday edition of Sports Bytes Hoop Talk. And for tonight, this is part of the Alaska series. And we have a very special guest, a very good friend of mine, who happened to oblige even though it's a busy schedule. But before I get to him, I want to welcome also a good friend, well, PH Sports Bureau, who will be joining me in grilling our guest tonight.
Thank you so much, Sir Brian. Thank you for inviting me in your show. Sports Bytes, live na po tayo. Kwentong Alaska po ito, kaya medyo masaya at malungkot to, kaya dyan lang po kayo. At kami na pong bahala sa kwentuhan.
Pero I'm sure naman, Mark, may magpapasaya sa atin dito. I mean, this guy never fails to make me laugh. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Don Allado.
Hi guys, hello, and Sports Bytes. Thank you for having me here. Anytime pare na invite mo ako dito, I'll always be here for you, pare ko.
Yeah, kita mo Mark, kung bakit mahal na mahal ko si Don. Well, I know.
Kahit 2 a.m., kahit anong oras, nandiyan ako para kayo.
Bro, let me sleep. Anyway, Don, how are you? I know you're busy with your campaigning, but I'm very, very thankful. But what's been going on with you?
Well, for the past several months, we've been very busy in the city of San Juan. Dami namin ginagawa syempre, mga distribution ng ayuda from Mayor Francis Zamora, the City Council, of course, kay Vice Mayor Warren Villa, and of course, Congressman Ronnie Zamora, through Attorney Bel Zamora. So lahat po sila ay working together para maibigay ang mga ayuda, yung mga budget para sa ating mga mamamayan. Sila po ay nangangailangan dito po sa ating lungsod, and it's very hard for them because itong pandemya ay it really crippled them, no? So hirap na hirap po sila, and kami, yung trabaho lang po namin is tulungan namin sila kung anong saabot kaya namin.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. Don and I worked together nung mga first, it was Don himself really handing out the ayuda, talagang siya yung workhorse noon.
Alam mo, brother, no? Nagkaroon na ako ng, 3 beses na ako nagkaroon ng COVID.
Oh!
So, 3 beses na. Thank God naman na I have a clean slate, a healthy body. Siyempre, may malaking tulong yung vaccine natin, di ba?
Yeah.
Sobrang organized tayo in the city of San Juan. Tayo ang number 1 in the Philippines for vaccination. Tayo din ang number 1 in the Philippines for vaccinating children 5 to 11 years old. Malaking bagay yun para sa ating lungsod. Right, and it speaks volumes of the type of admin that we have now, which is, of course, admin ni Mayor Francis Zamora. Everything is very detailed. The mayor is a very detailed person, and he's very hands-on. Ever since we've been teammates, we started in 1996 in the De La Salle University. So I've already noticed that he is our leader and he is our team captain. So, ever since nung college days namin, he already had that prowess of being a leader.
Yeah, Don, I'd like to add to that. Bro, hindi lang sa San Juan. Alam mo ba, you said it yourself, maganda yung natin, yung mga vaccination natin. Would you believe people from other cities are also coming here? And they have only good things to tell us. Most of them are my friends.
Absolutely. My other friends from other cities, they text me, they call me. Don, can you please help me? I want to get vaccinated. I want to get my kids vaccinated. I want to get booster and things like that. So, we welcome that in our city. We welcome those types of requests and help. Anytime that we can help, no problem.
But despite all of this, bro, I mean, I'm busy myself. I'm sure you heard the news of Alaska leaving the PBA.
I heard it. Yeah. Actually, I was in the barangays. I
Okay.
was in the barangays that we were giving out food,
Mhm.
and one of the residents there came up to me. Konsi Don, yung pantawag sa akin eh. So, Konsi Don, nabalitaan niyo na ba? Sabi ko, bakit? Ano yun? Alaska, mag-disband na. Sabi ko, wow, really? Ganyan.
Mhm.
So, fast forward, when I got home siguro mga 10 or 11 na ng gabi.
Mhm.
And so, ayun nga, nakita ko nga sa news, but yeah, I haven't had much time to really read up on it, what led up to them leaving until a couple of days ago. And yeah, it's very unfortunate. They established a great dynasty in the
True.
PBA, a very respectable ball club. It's the ball club. It's the first ball club that I joined in the PBA. I spent about 6 years with them. So that organization brought a lot of discipline. They really harped on integrity
Mhm.
and winning the right way.
Mark, do you have anything you want to ask to Don bago magtuloy ako?
Yes, Don. Upon hearing that news nga, no, what was your initial reaction? Meron ka bang kinausap ng mga teammates mo dati sa Alaska and then you pass over the information, the news?
Well, si Ali Peak, we spoke nung time na yon, and parang siyempre it brought back memories eh, 'di ba? Halimbawa, nagtrabaho ka dati sa old company. Sobrang saya mo dun sa old company. But, eventually you moved on. You went to other companies. So, kumbaga parang yung conversation namin parang, naalala mo ba tayo dati ganyan sa Alaska, ganito tayo. Yung mga ginagawa natin sa Alaska, yung mga fun times natin doon, yung mga games natin, yung mga kalokohan sa practice. So, it brought about sweet memories. Itong memories na to na hindi namin talaga makakalimutan. Yung samahan namin ni Ali sa Alaska. So, yung time na yun, parehas kami kengkoy. Kengkoy talaga kami. Kumbaga bata isip. Pero, we were given an opportunity by the organization, and we're very humbled and thankful. But it is unfortunate na aalis nga sila sa PBA, and I do hope that I do wish them well, that organization, and I hope somebody else carries the torch the way that organization has brought with for about 35 years, I believe.
Okay. That actually leads to my next question, Don. So pag-usapan na natin yung memories, no? What's your masabi nating fondest memories with Alaska, with your teammates?
Winning the championships, of course. Those are always great because yung time na yun, 90s. You hear about the Grand Slam team, comprised of Rodney Santos, Barrientos, Pochwinho, Bong Hawkins. Bong Hawkins is my ultimate idol. Yan ang idol ko talaga. So, siningit ko lang yun, pero kailangan ko isingit yun kasi si Bong Hawkins yun eh. So, yan, si Bong Hawkins, Kenneth Duremdes. So, the Jeffrey Carriazo, of course. Those guys are immortalized in Philippine basketball. And, for me, coming from LaSalle, nung late 90s na, 1998, 1999, pagpunta ko doon, syempre, parang, wow, I'm in awe itong mga superstars na to. Because literal, parang, wow, grabe, ito yung napapanood ko sa TV. Tapos, ngayon, kabanggaan ko na. So, and imagine, I'm only 21, 22 years old. So, at the time, I was I was still immature in my ways, but I had skills in basketball. So, I grew up very fast. Kasi yung mga tao na yun, yung mga players na yun, yung samahan nila sobrang buo. Nothing can beat that core of Alaska, yung Grand Slam Alaska. Ibang-iba yun sa lahat ng mga teams. So sobrang amazed ako sa mga teammates ko pagdating ko doon.
Thank you, Don.
Yun. Yun nga, Don. Yung mga teammates mo doon, yung mga unforgettable. Actually, Alaska produced a lot of stars that came from other teams na kumbaga nag-blossom sila with Alaska nung time na lang.
Yes. I do feel talaga Don Allado in the PBA is because one of the reasons is Tim Cone in the Alaska Triangle. So ganito yan my skills in college pangloob may konting perimeter, konting perimeter, very athletic in college. I was one of the quickest big man. Sobrang mabilis talaga ako. Mabilis yung pa ako. Pero nga pagdating sa professional level, you need more than that. You need more than speed. You need more than low post moves, because ngayon ang mga kalaban ko ay magagaling. Adults na to yung mga kalaban ko. Okay? So yung mga kabanggaan ko, adults na yan. Mamang-mama na maglaro yan. Hindi lang yung mga locals, pati yung mga imports pinapabantayan sa akin. So me being in the PBA, Tim Cone has really been a huge part of my career and my development in terms of being that player with an outside jump shot, And I don't think naman, if you ask during my time, you ask any of the players na kasama ko or kalaban ko, hahayaan niyo ba si Don Allado tumira? 90% I think will say no, hindi namin nahahayaan yan. So that means to say, yung na-develop ko na yung jump shot ko, yung perimeter ko. And aside from yung perimeter ko, yung IQ. Because my defensive instincts, my defensive and that killer mentality, yan natutunan ko yan kay Coach Franz Pumarin, kay Coach Dindo. Coach Derek. So they prepared me to enter the pros para hindi ako kukulangin in terms of my killer instinct, in terms of my physical abilities. Pero yun nga, I felt that si Tim Cone talaga added another dimension. So very crucial, those two coaches in my career, Coach Franz and Coach Tim. Very crucial.
Yun nga. Well, you were mentioning it's funny you mentioned about the triangle. I was talking to this to an American book author, si Roland Lazenby. Yung nga sabi niya, parang most now are no longer using the triangle because of the evolution of the game.
Well, first of all, is this author a player? Was he ever a player?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Coach, so maybe, yeah.
What is his? What's the extent of him coaching? Ako kasi, I'm a believer in the triangle if you run it the right way with the right players. I've had very huge success with the triangle. It offers a lot of growth for an individual. And if you ask any of the players under Tim Cone, any of the players who ran the triangle, I'm sure they will also say the same thing. It offers you a lot of freedom and growth. Pero it takes some time to master. But when you do master it, it's virtually impossible to stop. So, the guys who are average become good, right? The guys who are good become great. And when you have that type of system, right, you are able to hide your weaknesses, so to speak, right? So it's like what Tim Cone said. It's like what Phil Jackson, I believe, who said it before also. Tex Winters. It's like a dance. It's like a flow, right? Alam mo naman si Phil Jackson, Zen teacher, Zen master, So he has applied several ways, creative ways to try to reach his students, so to speak, players, right? To be able to buy into the system. Now, ngayon, to say that the triangle is outdated because of today's evolution, today's players,
Mhm.
well, that's just a matter of opinion. That is subjective.
Mhm.
If someone truly ran it, okay, the way Phil Jackson ran it and Tex Winters with the guidance of those guys, I'm sure buhay na buhay ang triangle today. I'm sure,
Mhm.
right? But yes, things evolve.
Yeah.
But the triangle will also evolve in some ways.
True. Yeah, at least first-hand information from someone who really played with Brian.
Yeah. That's why I'm very particular. Pag may nagsasabi, triangle doesn't work, hindi na yan, pang ano
Mhm.
lang yan dati, ganyan-ganyan. First of all, are you a player? Did you ever play basketball? Second, were you ever in a legit triangle offense?
Mhm.
Right? So, 'di ba? For sa second question pa lang, wala na eh. Hindi na sila makasagot nun eh. So, I do not say that's subjective for me. That's a matter of opinion.
True.
I can run it. Given the chance, I will run it with the right players.
Yeah. The fair pal. So bago ko ibigay muna kay Mark, bro, you might wanna say hi to your supporters. A lot of them are commenting on the comment page right now.
Ay, sa lahat ng mga kaalyado, sa lahat ng mga
Yun.
kaalyado na nanonood ngayon, maraming salamat po. At sinusuportahan niyo po kami, sinusuportahan niyo po ang Sports Bytes, ang aking kaibigan, si Brian. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. At ipagpatuloy niyo po yan. Ang aking kaibigan, si Brian. Maraming salamat.
Yun. Anyway, bro, you might not know, Mark is also used to be in San Juan before, but now he's no longer here.
Bumalik ka na.
Well, actually, yun nga sinabi ni Brian kanina na yung ibang lugar nagpupunta ng San Juan because ang bilis-bilis nga ng vaccine. I can attest to that. Yung dalawang vaccine ko diyan ko na kinuha. Total taga din naman ako dati. Taga Tibagan ako, Barangay Tibagan.
Ayun, Tibagan. Okay. Kay Cap Totoy Gaa.
Ask where he lived before.
Saan? Where did you live before?
Sa may Laura ako. Tapos yung tito ko naman, Barangay Kagawad din dyan ng mga 20 years. Sotelo naman. Manuel Sotelo.
Sotelo. O, bulungan mo na siya.
Oo naman.
Baka naman.
Kaalyado mo kami.
Kaalyado tayo. Yung mga kaalyado natin, Brian, nanonood na.
Oo, ang dami nga eh. Very ba talaga?
Kaalyado na kaalas pa, kaya nakaalas.
Yun! Sige,
Wow.
go ahead, Mark.
Kasi parang 2 days ago, narinig ko nga na sabi ni Sean Chambers, alam ko nagkasama ni Sean. Sabi niya he was the first former Alaska player that received a call from team owner Fred Wittingsu na parang sinabihan nga siya na Sean, ganito mangyayari, ganyan. He was very grateful na parang siyempre diba matagal na siyang hindi part ng team, ng current team especially. Pero yung respect sa kanya na sinabihan siya before the plan of pulling out the team from the league. So parang na-appreciate niya yun. So gusto kong malaman Don, what kind of relationship ba talaga does Fred have with his Alaska team, and how would you describe him as a boss?
Mr. Fred is very busy with his time. We meet him, maybe we see him at the games, but we meet him actually maybe once a conference, maybe when he hosts dinner at his place, or sometimes he'll drop by and practice if he's in the area. Maybe that's what I remember from the 6 years I've been there. So him and Tim Cohen, they had a very close relationship before. Though they were always in each other's ear, talking about things, how to get better. Mr. Utengsu, Mr. Fred has a very high standard. Has a very high standard, and he holds integrity above everything else. So he expects you to carry yourself in a certain manner, and he expects you to win, okay, with integrity as well. Um, but again, we don't get to, he's a very busy man. Obviously, he's traveling back and forth, and it's the corporate world. So um, he's very busy with that. And again, we just see him once a conference when we have a dinner, and also at the games.
Okay. And then with the current team of Alaska ngayon, no, Don, have you been to a team na parang medyo nakakaramdam na na malapit ng ma-defunct or ma-sold sa ibang company? Have you been to that kind of team before?
Well, I think at the time it was Barako.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think it's Barako Bull nung time na yun. So there were rumors na ibebenta daw yung franchise ganyan, but of course those were rumors back in the day. Hindi naman nangyari nung time na yon. But eventually nga binenta.
Yeah, because with the current team nga no, with Alaska kasi before parang bandang 90s yung panahon ng Tanduay, may times talaga na parang yung mga star players nila natidisperse sa ibang team while live pa yung team, no? And pero sa Alaska intact pa sila, and ano kaya yung what kind of piece of advice would like to give to the current players of the Alaska Aces ngayon na medyo alam na nila kung ano yung pupuntahan nila, or maybe they don't know what's next for for their career?
Okay, so the current players, this is my advice to them. Okay, aside from saving your money. Because I'm a real estate advisor kasi, so I have a different outlook when it comes to money. But anyways, yung mga players ngayon sa Alaska, my advice to them is control what you can. Hindi nyo naman makokontrol ang pagbenta ng franchise eh. Pero makokontrol ninyo ang laro ninyo. Di ba? So, for me, finish strong. I think based on the personality of Mr. Fred, he would want you to win with integrity and to play to your best. So, again, integrity is number one for him. Control what you can. Nandiyan na yan eh. Binenta na yung franchise. So, there's nothing that you can do about that. But there is something that you can do about your game. Galingan nyo na lang. From there, diba, who knows? Baka biglang may pumasok na buyer, bilhin yung franchise. Diba? So, baka tuloy-tuloy na yan. And basketball is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. So, if you play well today, you will not have any regrets tomorrow. But if you don't play well, you half-heart it. Somewhere along the line, pagsisisihan mo yan.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Don. And syempre, hindi lang sa mga players, yung mga fans nila, looking at the social media, very emotional.
Yeah. I have this one fan before. Kaibigan ko siya actually. Si Mang Oscar. Mang Oscar has been with the Alaska Aces from the beginning of time. Naging fans ko din, naging kaibigan ko. Dito siya sa San Juan. Pare, nasa San Juan siya nakatira. And it's funny, pag umiikot ako, nakikita ko siya. Don Allado, ganyan-ganyan. So, na-recognize ko siya kaagad. And, natutuwa naman talaga ako. But, more than anything else, guys like Mang Oscar, si Mang Oscar talaga ang I feel really bad for. Those guys who have opened up their hearts, committed their time, they committed their money in going and watching me play, players play. Those guys are the ones that I really feel bad for because invested sila emotionally. when you're invested emotionally, it's quite different. Pag alam mo na mawawala yung talagang pinupusuan mo, which is the organization of the basketball team, Alaska Aces. So I feel really bad for my friends like Mang Oscar. It's a heavy heart for them to deal with, but ganyan talaga ang buhay eh. So, eventually you have to move on. But it will be tough for guys like him to move on.
Ano naman yun. And parang Sir Brian, naalala natin tuloy bigla si Coach Emer kasi very talagang number one supporter ng Crispa yun. And imagine nung nangyari nga yung na-defunct na yung Crispa. And then after that, sabi niya nga sa amin, never na siya nag-group pa ng ibang other team. Talagang hanggang ngayon, Crispa pa rin. Kahit wala ng Crispa pa rin siya.
Well, actually, we were supposed to be with him, Don. I'm sure if Coach Emmer was here, he'd take you down memory lane with a lot of pictures you had during your prime. He has a lot of that.
Oh wow! Yeah, back in the day, huh? Those are nice to always see and reminisce. So I am glad to have those type of memories. I'm glad that I gave it my all. I have no regrets. But so it's nice. Those memories are nice.
I have a question for you because earlier this afternoon I was talking to Coach Derek on another show. I also asked him about the Alaska situation, and he made an interesting prediction that he wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Alaska Aces would win the title with the way they're playing now.
Wow, really? Well,
Yeah.
that's again, that's probably what I said earlier. With the owner probably telling them to win with integrity, play as hard as you can. Nothing is guaranteed tomorrow. And of course, Jeffrey Cariaso, he's my teammate. So I've had the pleasure of playing with him as well as against him. So he's one of the great motivators there. He's going to be a great coach. He's a great coach actually. You guys just got to recognize these situations and do your best. You got to do your best with what you have because tomorrow is not promised. So leave today as best as you can.
Yun, that very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice coach. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, shout out daw yung kaibigan natin who'll be joining us later, Aldrin Magnay, for our next show.
Nanonood pa siya ng live
PB
game.
Hoops. Yeah. Anyway, Don, okay, I'm going to move away from Alaska for a while because this was something we were supposed to talk with Dorian Peña before. Unfortunately, our times cannot connect because he's in a different time zone. I'd like to get your thoughts on these players moving to Japan or overseas to play instead of locally. What's your take on that?
Well, okay, here we go. I think it's great.
All right.
Natawa ka, okay? Because I took a deep breath. Okay, here we go. I think it's great for players having options. I truly do. Because it shows that basketball is evolving. It shows that the Filipino talent is being recognized internationally. So that's good. When you have that, leagues grow, players grow, organizations grow. You are forced to grow. For example, the PBA. Of course, they're losing out on players going to Japan because Japan pays 4 or 5 times more than the PBA. So, as players, you only have, if you're lucky, 5 to 8 good years in the PBA nowadays. All right. So you're gonna maximize the most out of your playing years. You can play 3 years in Japan and you would make more than playing 10 years in the PBA. Parang ganun yung breakdown. If I'm not mistaken, that's just what I've heard. So, but theoretically, if a player sees that, syempre, security and for a player, right? It's security for a player. You cannot blame naman the player for wanting to go to greener pastures. Now, the PBA, they recognize that. So they have adjusted some of the rules. They have adjusted some of the PhilAm rules as well. And what is that doing? So the PBA is evolving na rin as an organization. They are evolving with the times. So they can match, they won't have situations na aalis na yung mga players. So it's a big step for the PBA. And it's the right step for the PBA because, PBA, it's been quite some time, that yung mga rules nila need to be updated, right? But now, these external situations of players leaving for other teams has allowed them to see from a distance, okay, maybe we should adjust yung mga rules natin, ganyan. So hindi na mawawala yung mga local talents natin. And that's a big step for the PBA, honestly. And they're doing the necessary adjustments para makasabay sila. And that's good for the league. It's growing. It's good for the players. But unfortunately, another obstacle, challenge that the PBA faces has been the pandemic.
Yeah.
Aside from that, so patong-patong. So ang ngayon nga yung PBA, it's amazing that they're able to jumpstart the league back again because of what's happening. Remember, the PBA also relies on gate receipts. Okay, they rely on the TV market shares, TV sponsorships, and if they don't have that, well, syempre, paano kikita yung league, right? You have companies paying their players, so I think PBA has done a tremendous job in maintaining the league and opening despite the challenges that they face. I mean, who can do that nowadays? A league that can sustain for so long, 2 years, tapos walang games. Nagkaroon na nga ng bubble. Pero, my gosh, yung bubble na yan, sobrang mahal, right? And in the PBA's organization, ang daming workers dyan, right? You have a lot of workers in the PBA. So, yeah, unfortunately, some may be retrenched. I'm not sure if they were retrenched. So, but it still amazes me that the PBA, kumbaga, is open today. Other leagues probably folded na yan.
Yeah.
But no, PBA is strong. So, what does that say? What does that mean? Malakas ang PBA talaga, right? You have a fan base. They're able to, through the organization, through the admin of Willie Marshall and the board of directors, they were able to, get through the storm and open up the league again. So sana tuloy-tuloy na yan. And I hope the league continues to grow. Now they're being a little bit more flexible sa mga rules and regulations. So again, this is all attributed to growth of players and the organization.
Mark, do you have anything to ask?
Syempre, pagka si Sir Don Allado nagsabi niya, maniniwala tayo. Naging player at nakita na rin niya yung mga iba't ibang aspeto ng PBA. Sana nga, pagka sa San Juan, tayo naman makapaglaro din basketball.
Malapit na. Actually, si Mayor Francis Zamora ay nag-ano na siya ng Mayor's Cup. Yes, Mayor's Cup na yan. But what I plan on to do is to have a few tournaments throughout the year. May mga few cups throughout the year. But I cannot divulge it now, right? Hindi ko na pwede divulge now. But I will have kung manalo, I will have several tournaments.
Yun, parang sarap
PM mo na lang sa akin.
makabalik nga uli ng San Juan, Sir Bright.
Oo, masarap yung akala mo. So, yun. Anyway, thanks for that, Don. So, last ko na, kasi the Gilas Philippines team will be playing on, when is that? On Thursday. They'll be playing for the World Cup. Now, they're fielding a team that's a bit different because there's been a change in the coaches and the players' composition. And I'm sure, Don, that you were one of the many Filipinos who watched the last window when we beat Korea twice. Am I correct?
Right. With Jimmy.
Yeah. But now I don't know, with lack of preparations, we're going to face Korea twice again, then New Zealand and India. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
My only concern there is the lack of preparation.
Yeah.
I've spoken to one of the, I'll just leave his name out.
All right.
I've spoken to one of the coaches doon sa coaching staff of Coach Chot Reyes, and time is of the essence. Really, they are under pressure. Of course, they need to put together a team that's cohesive, that's efficient in such a small time. So parang ang hirap naman yun during a pandemic where not too many players are active. So the challenge keeps on building and building and building for our Gilas. Everything seems to be faced against us. But what better way to overcome these challenges? That's even better way, that's even a more of a reason to overcome these things. What a great story that would be 10 years down the line. We overcame with what we had. So the only positive thing I can say is that it would be a great story to tell. It would be a great story to tell if they overcame these challenges. Everything against your backs are against the wall. Time, hindi ka nabigyan. Training, wala masyado. So extreme training, extreme time management ang mangyayari dito. Investment of players will be tested.
Mm-hmm.
Their mettle will be tested supremely in these situations. They're gonna have to, Chot is one of the great motivators. One of the great motivators in my career, and I've seen him motivate. I've been motivated by him. So that's not gonna be a question here when the players are motivated. It's just being able to overcome certain challenges. Yun nga, time constraint, that's one of them. That's a huge factor. Diba? Kasi sabihin natin, you get the best guys. Paano kung wala pa sila sa kondisyon? Nagpapakondisyon pa. Tapos isabak natin sa games, international games. Anong pwedeng mangyari doon? Number one, anong pwedeng mangyari doon? Injury. You risk injury. Okay? But if anyone can do it, Coach Chot has the full backing of the MVP group. Mm-hmm. They will assess everything. And that's Coach Chot, and he's been known to do miracles. Hey, anything's possible. We beat Korea.
Yep.
So that is the positive outlook that I'm looking at for our Gilas. It's going to be a great story to tell for these guys to overcome everything that they've been faced with.
Mark, final questions from you.
No questions, but Don, final message mo or your message to the entire Alaska community.
Okay, yeah, sure. Mr. Fred, I'd like to sincerely thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your organization. Thank you so much. It's one of the, of course, greatest times in my career for the organizations. So to the players that I played with over at Alaska, thank you so much for the brotherhood. the coaching staff, of course, and the utilities. Thank you so much to all that's been a part of the Alaska organization for making it what it is today. And I wish you well, and continue on teaching your discipline, your integrity to future players. And if you do come back, maybe, you do come back maybe 10, 15 years down the line, maybe, you'll be looking forward to that. So, to my other fans in the San Juan, maraming salamat po mga kaalyado, mga nanonood ngayon. At
There are a lot.
Opo, so yung mga kaibigan natin ngayon, pasensya na, medyo English ako kanina. Ngayon naman po, magtatagalog ako. Hindi po ako sanay mag-English. So, hayaan nyo po, kami po dito sa Makabagong San Juan ay todo suporta po kay Mayor Francis Zamora at siya din po sinusuportahan kami. At kami po nandito para tumulong sa bawat San Juanenyo. At ako po ang aking programang Champ ng San Juan. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Lahat ng barangays pupuntahan po namin at bibigyan po namin kayo ng libreng champorado. Ito po ang number 1 na champorado yung hinahanap ng bawat barangay. Champ ng San Juan, mga kaalyado.
Nice. Yan. Yun yung mga ano eh. Anyway, ikaw,
Thank you
Mark.
also. I'd like to thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. Mark, thank you so much. Thank you, Sports Bytes, for having me on your show. It's an honor to be here. Always fun times, man. Anytime that you want, I'm always here.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna try to get Dorian. I'll get a good time. I want the two of you in one show. I'm gonna get a kick out of that. Anyway, Mark, your final words?
Yun, Sir Bright, salamat ulit sa pag-invite sa akin dito sa iyong show. Sa time kay kaalyado natin si Don Allado. Ako, babalik na talaga ako sa San Juan. Hanapin ko na yung mga kapitbahay ko dati at saka kamag-anak ko doon at pakasakali. No? And thank you sa lahat ng mga kabasketball natin na walang asawang sumuporta sa ating PBA. Kahit na paalis na po ang paborito nating team na Alaska. Siyempre, baon-baon naman po natin ng mga masasayang alaala at magagandang laban. Siyempre, huwag natin kakalimutan. Yun lamang po, magdasal tayo palagi at malapit na matapos ng pandemya na to, babalik tayo sa mga.
So before I give my final words, Don, I want to have a picture with you and Mark, if that's okay. All right, on 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. There you go. All right, so I won't keep Don long. I know I can see from you, brother, that you're very, very tired. I can see it in your eyes. But I'll be inviting you again for sure. Okay, let's talk some more, and maybe we'll see each other in the coming date or something. Right?
Absolutely.
I wish you luck, bro.
Ikaw na para sa akin, ha? Green Hills.
Of course. Hindi na kailangan natin sabihin yun, bro. All right. Good night, everybody, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay safe. Night.